One day, I noticed that my little brother would get easily distracted while watching shows, except for one. Out of curiosity, I dug deeper into the show's production and discovered just how far ahead of its time it was. Advanced eye tracking technology, intense focus groups,
I'd grant poor kids access to the sewer immediately.
What the
and multiple retention tests per episode. I quickly realized there were huge reasons behind Blue's Clues sitting as the second highest rated kids show in history, right under the indomitable SpongeBob SquarePants. It was because Blue's Clues created the psychologically most captivating episodes in TV history. This makes them the key that MrBeast needs to unlock the door leading to the theoretically perfect YouTube video. And here's how. Alice Wilder, director of research for Blue's Clues, is on an excursion to talk with a few preschoolers. And remember that she is accompanied by two other young women. They are testing a proposed script. It's essentially a first draft. The script is in the form of a picture book that roughly corresponds to the way the actual episode will unfold, scene by scene, on television. Alice is acting as the host and is walking the children through the picture book. She reads the script out loud and says, "Blue has a favorite animal," to which the children nod and pay close attention, understanding they must guess the animal. She begins going through the hints. The first one is a little splotch of white and black tattooed to one of Blue's paw prints. A little girl points out its unusual black and white color, leading to Alice asking the children what animal might be Blue's favorite. But they're stumped. Black and white isn't enough of a hint to make a good guess, so they move on to the next clue, which happens to be a paw print stuck to an iceberg. Black and white and iceberg are their current hints, but their little hamster wheel brains can't run fast enough to figure out the answer. On to the final clue, a waddling paw. Black and white, iceberg, and waddling. The kids' brain cells become lit fireworks ready to explode when one finally blurts out, "Penguin! It's a penguin!" Great, now it's time to evaluate their results, as the entire time Alice had been taking notes on the number of children who could guess the animal after just one hint, were intrigued until the final answer, and had given up altogether. Remember the other two ladies I said were important? Well, they had done the same thing as her, except their picture books were different. They showed the kids a different order of the same hints. And wow, did this experiment showcase an immense difference in engagement simply through hint order. See, sometimes it would be too obvious and they would guess the answer early, but it was equally possible for them to be stuck on the too tough to crack clues, causing them to give up and stop paying attention. This meant that Alice and her coworkers could figure out the hint order that worked best, make some changes, and come back with a brand new picture book. They would do this 3 times per episode so that every episode of Blue's Clues that aired was exceptional at keeping the attention of little kids. Now you must be wondering, how could MrBeast use this procedure in his videos to perfect them? Well, considering he was able to build an entire game to simulate Squid Game for a video, it surely is not hard for him to build a game or website that essentially simulates YouTube. There is already a free one you can find that's used to see what a thumbnail and title looks like before upload. With a YouTube simulator, you could replace the test picture book that Blue's Clues would use with a test video. Replace the target audience of toddlers.
My name's Harry. I enjoy fishing and hiding children.
With your target audience, which you've said to be
I'm a male boy that plays video games. Like, that's the best.
And finally, replace the host with a retention specialist, someone who can record, analyze, and interpret information. Then you have an experiment. Except it's missing something. And that something is the final and only key to unlock the most psychologically engaging videos on the internet. Eye tracking software.
Jade! No, you were looking at her.
I'm looking at the face.
No, you were not. You were looking at the breast.
If Yale uses it to detect autism early, and Amazon to optimize how individuals understand their website, and even streamers who use it as a visual dexterity test where they are tasked with demonstrating their remarkable ability to maintain unyielding visual focus on appropriate targets while deftly avoiding the seductive allure of more salacious or taboo areas of the visual field, then it's also the key to understand why people keep watching. Eye tracking is the only way to perfect click-through rate and retention on a video. It's the only way to pinpoint the words, colors, objects, and emotions that trump others in receiving attention. It can also provide a heat map displaying where every frame of a video is looked at most by viewers. This would show you the exact points at which people lose interest or get lost most often. You then patch up the segments of a video where viewers' eyes tend to wander, and you're good to upload. If you test a video enough, then there might might never be a point where people look away, and that, I believe, in your eyes, is a perfect YouTube video. And now it's time to summarize everything needed to create a flawless YouTube video by forming an example test. Let's take a look at hydraulic press versus Lamborghini. This video, like many others, includes a lot more than what the title suggests. There are 8 intriguing experiments conducted, which all prompt different engagement levels. To optimize the retention of this video would mean to also enhance the order of the 8 experiments from most to least attention grabbing. This is where we would play the video to a focus group with eye tracking glasses on. We would be able to interpret the points of the video at which people lose interest most often from the glasses, but we would also survey the viewers. Simply ask them the next day which experiment in the video was the most memorable for them. This will show us if the video had an impact on the viewer and therefore aid you in the most unknown YouTube statistic that directly governs view count.
Survey.
Yes, these surveys that YouTube asks you about do matter, at least according to MrBeast and Todd, YouTube's director of product management. Through asking some simple questions, we can understand if the video left an impact on the viewer. If the train crash was the most memorable experiment, then yes, place it at the beginning. But what if it was actually the car jumping over buses that stuck in everyone's mind? Then that should go first. But we need to be careful because the serial position effect says that people remember the first and last things better. So perhaps don't count what people say about the beginning and end experiments in the video. But let's take a step backwards for a second and look at how we can optimize the click-through rate on a video using eye tracking software, because there are more advanced techniques MrBeast needs to start using. Though hydraulic press versus Lamborghini is very intriguing to garner clicks, the only way to find the best title and thumbnail is to test them. But don't just ask people which they think is the best, because there's actually a way to get a definite answer to this rather objective question. Place different variations of a video's thumbnail and title on the YouTube simulator we talked about earlier. Then use a heat map that shows you exactly where people look the most. You may find that everyone is instantly looking at the eye-catching thumbnail, including the elephant toothpaste, more than the luxurious Lamborghini. Using this eye-tracking experiment will solve many issues I know MrBeast must be having. He has said in the past that it's like
Failure is not really an option anymore, so I'm a little more particular about what I do. But
and that shows when looking at his I Hunted 100 People video, where he has changed the thumbnail and title too many times for me to find all the variations. Utilizing this eye tracking experiment will mean that he will never have to stress about changing the thumbnail or title again. It will also mean that as long as he uses a big enough group to test watch the videos, this experiment should let him easily theorize the CTR, retention, and survey responses all before the final upload. But this idea could be a catastrophe. Though this operation in theory will only aid in increasing retention, it may not be worth the investment. It should be easy for anyone to understand that if using this advanced eye tracking experiment means you are just losing more money than the experiment is worth, then why do it? To put it simply, is this operation in terms of money justified? To know the answer, you would have to test it, because there is no other YouTuber putting their videos through such high production levels. But I do know that you, MrBeast, run your channel like a business, reinvesting every cent. So if your mission statement is true, to make the best videos possible, then you need to incorporate this operation into your own videos. And now for a final idea that I couldn't throw anywhere else into the video. MrBeast needs to create a Beast behind the scenes channel, but not for the reason you may think. See, there's a big target audience for those interested in the behind the scenes of his videos. Just take Cullen and Samir's "We spent 24 hours with MrBeast" or "Making MrBeast Squid Game in 10 days." They have incredible view counts, but more importantly, they actually strengthen MrBeast's brand image in a much more meaningful way than anything else could. Behind the scenes shows the reality of what's happening. As Jimmy has such a clean operation because he is genuinely motivated to make the world better rather than stock up on Bugattis,
Well, what color is your Bugatti?
then this is reflected best in what's happening not on camera. Showing people the raw process of what happens behind cameras only disowns skeptics and strengthens bonds with fans. But now for the plot twist, because MrBeast has an internship open for the summer, and to stand out in my application, I made this video. So if everyone wanted to start a #JimmyHireThisGuy chain in the comment section, I wouldn't be mad. Anyway, thank you for watching if you did, and peace out.